Hey, good morning. How you doing? As you can see from the sun lighting up my little face here, it's a beautiful morning in Sweden. Anyway, so I watched The Karate Kid last night. That legendary seminal piece of Hollywood film. Um, yeah. So actually, I need to qualify that just in case you think that's the pinnacle of my taste in film. I'm watching this the Cobra Kai thing on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it. It's kind of a follow up, um, sort of 30, 20 year later series, which all the original Karate Kid characters. I'm watching with my daughter. Anyway, we put that on. We put the original on, and there was a line, a little bit of narrative dialogue in the beginning of the film um, that really stopped me in my tracks, and stopped me in my tracks for two reasons. Number one, it reminded me of one of my favorite quotes, and that is that a each person will take from a story what that person needs. And which leads me to point number two. I've had a bit of a topsy turvy couple of weeks, and this particular line in this film was exactly the line that I needed to hear, to the point where it literally took my breath away audibly when we were watching this film. And I wanted to share that with you today because it's linked to a bigger idea. So, anyway, if you haven't seen The Karate Kid, you must have seen it. Come on, you must have seen it. If you haven't, very quick context. He's East Coast kid, goes to the West Coast with his mum to start a new life, gets involved with the local hottie. Hottie's ex-boyfriend is a karate lunatic, gets beaten up, meets a mystical little karate legend, Mr. Miyagi, who ends up being the janitor in his building, teaches him karate, fights, wins back his honor, gets the girl. Hollywood, popcorn going everywhere, right? You know the type of formula. Brilliant film. So anyway, this particular scene, right, it's quite early on in the film, and the young chap Daniel has just met Mr. Miyagi, the old guy who's going to teach him karate, and they're basically, um, without knowing it, he's getting his first lesson, and it's a lesson in visualizations and presence, and they're clipping bonsai trees. And he gets him to close his eyes with the clippers and goes, right, picture tree, nothing else but tree exists. Now open eyes and start clipping. How's that for a Mr. Miyagi impression? Like it. And then Daniel turns to me and goes, well, how do I know if the tree I'm seeing is right? And it was the reply from Mr. Miyagi that really sat my ass down and got the reaction that it did. Because here's the thing, and I'll tell you what that reply is in a minute. Because here's the thing, it's we're already at the 20th of April, right? And we're already coming into May. May will shoot through, I think, with a lot of the world opening up again and the economy opening up again and everybody sort of intoxicated back into the new normal and getting their lives back together. I think time is going to catapult forward. Then we're going to be in the middle of the summer, and before you know it, we're in the final quarters of the year. And I had a quick check in on my business the other day, and I sort of had a bit of a panic. I was quite a lot behind the curve on a number of the businesses that I'm involved in that I really wanted to be. So uh, I'm in between coaches at the moment. So I called myself up, booked a session with myself, and we sat down together and ran myself through one of my favorite exercises that I do with clients, which is really around kind of baseline in mindset and beliefs to understand where we are right now, what's driving those results, anchoring back into the energy of where we want to be, looking at what's in the gap, and then stepping back into that gap to make sure that we're living our predicted future now. We're not allowing it to be hampered or slowed down or diminished by anything that we might be dealing with either from the past or that we're dealing with in the moment. So I ran myself through that, and I realized that a lot of the stuff, particularly creatively, a lot of the content, a lot of even some of the coaching stuff that I've been doing has slipped slightly from a place of real authenticity, the stuff that really lights me up, the stuff that I believe I have a kind of a particularly unique ability to help people with, into what I think other people need, or more importantly, what I think is going to have the dual effect of helping people, but also making me look good a little bit. So a little bit of validation. So I'm sort of being a bit honest here. And so I reviewed a lot of where that mindset was coming from. I reviewed a lot of the content that I've been doing and really got clear on what the problem was. And then, so I'm bringing me back to Mr. Miyagi and that little piece of dialogue in the film. And his reply to this kid when he said, "How do I know if the tree that I can see is right?" And he turns to him very slowly and says, "If come from inside, always right." How lovely is that? Let me just say that again. So he's got him to close his eyes and visualize the object of his attention, which is a bonsai tree. He opens his eyes and starts clipping. He's worried that the vision that he's seeing in his tree isn't right. So he asks him, "What if the tree that I'm seeing isn't right?" So he's questioning his own vision. He's questioning his own imagination, his creativity. And Mr. Miyagi, this wise old karate sage, turns to him and says, "If it comes from inside you, always right." And there was a synchronicity. There was what I needed to hear, because a lot of the way that I've been approaching my business, a lot of the way I've been approaching my creativity, my planning, a lot of the things in my life actually have slipped away from coming from inside of me. They've been perhaps anchored more in obligation to what I think I should be doing, or what I need to be doing based on my external environment, based on trying to perhaps be somebody that I'm not, seeking validation from the wrong place, which is seeking validation from outside of myself rather than from in myself. And it's not only is it shown up in my work, but it's shown up in my results. And it really is sometimes that simple to find that insight, to find that missing piece, is to maybe look at what am I doing right now? Where's it coming from? Is it directed? Am I trying to avoid something, or am I trying to go towards something that I really want? Is it coming from me, or is it trying to meet some kind of fake obligation that I've connected myself to out of lack or need, or some other sort of egoic reason? Here's an idea, right? If I really love this exercise that I do yesterday. It always creates phenomenal insights for people when we do it, because sometimes we don't know what we don't know unless we speak to somebody that asks us the right questions and holds a space to answer them in as vulnerable as we need to be and as safe as we need to be, so the insights and the clarity can emerge and we can really see what's going on. So we're coming to the end of April. The year is galloping forward. If you're running your own business right now, or you're thinking of running your own business, or you're dealing with anything at the moment and you're not really where you want to be and you're not quite sure what's happening, causing you to feel stressed or anxious or a bit depleted and a bit disillusioned with what you're doing, I'm going to put my calendar link in the comments of this post. Just click on it. Just go in and book a 45-minute conversation with me, and I will run you through the same exercise that I did for myself a couple of days ago. It's completely complimentary. It's just the opportunity to chat with someone who will ask you the right questions, that will hold the space for you to get the insights you need, to get unblocked, to get remotivated, and to start shifting yourself back into where you really want to be in whatever it is you're trying to build right now. Have a lovely day, and I will speak to you real soon.